Hey, howdy, hey, folks. Nice to see ya. My name's Dustin Cormier, and welcome to How to Rock Astrology. I've been excited to talk with you guys about this one today. This is a video describing what it's like when you have the Sun in Scorpio and Mars also in Scorpio. And guess what? That's right, you guessed it. This is none other than my Sun and Mars combination. So I wish I could say that that's like a great and incredible thing. It could be, but it's not necessarily for me because the Sun is so close to the combustion of Mars in my chart. They're both at 16 degrees, which means that the Sun it combusts Mars. Mars is combust in my chart. I believe that the orb of combustion for Mars is about like 8 to like 12 degrees. So if your Sun is at least like, I mean, we could do the classical thing and say 10 degrees. If your Sun is within 10 degrees of Mars in the sign of Scorpio, then the Sun will be too hot and it will agitate and disrupt all of the possibly very, very, very good things that can come from this conjunction. If your Sun is at like 5 degrees of Scorpio and Mars is at like 20, then these two are associated in the same sign. They give a richness to each other. The Sun gives its energy to Scorpio. Mars gives its energy to Scorpio. Scorpio holds both of these with goodness in a positive way, without disrupting Mars. And that can be a great thing. We're going to have to literally split this in half, because if you're like me and your Mars is combust, this is ruining a lot of the good things that can happen for this combination. Although a lot of the good things are still there. The reason is because here the Sun needs the health of Mars to do what the Sun needs to do. The Sun is very ambitious in Scorpio, wants to connect with people, wants to get on top of its own animal energy field, its own animal body, its own psychological resistances to getting over, sacrificing in order to get over challenges. Mars ennobles the Sun here. That's what's nice about it, is that no matter what, when Sun and Mars are combust, Mars delights the Sun, and the Sun gets a nobleness, a little bit of extra discipline, rigidness, power, willfulness, and an inspiration to do best what the Sun does in Scorpio. The Sun in Scorpio has intense emotional power and intuition. It wants to express its own transformative energy by reforming the status quo, by making everyone in a situation think differently about something. Scorpio wants that kind of power in a group, just by the magnetic truth of their conviction. And the Mars being in Scorpio here is technically still in a good sign. Mars, so wherever the Sun is, it uses the ruler of that sign to carry its energy. For example, when the Sun is in Libra, Venus and the health of Venus, the positive aspects to Venus, carry and channel the will of the Sun. So the Sun can only do so good based on where Venus is when it's in Libra. Now the Sun is in Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, which means that wherever Mars is for a Scorpio Sun, Mars is going to carry and channel the abilities of the Sun through what Mars is, what Mars does in Mars' sign. Here we have Scorpio Sun, and it's depending on Mars' energy to do what the Sun wants to do. To be willful, to be respected for its magnetism, its sexuality, its ability to draw, to fend against enemies, but also attractively draw partners and people who understand the value and usefulness of the Scorpio's organized ability, its aggression, its ability to assert itself. The sun wants to be appreciated for all these things here, and it needs to use Mars in order to get a grip on its energy field and its organization. It wants to make a big impression with lots of energy, the sun in Scorpio. And it needs a strong Mars in order to do that. Now, Mars is in its own sign here, in the sign of Scorpio. So again, if you're not combust, if your Mars isn't combust, then this is a great situation because the sun is finding roots, places to put its ambitious energy. It's going to the gym, doing yoga, writing this or that book or this or that article relating to what you're doing, getting this job done, having people who can secure places for the Scorpio sun to obsessively, compulsively, passionately focus its energy towards something that's meaningful to the sun. The sun is inspired to focus a lot of energy somewhere in one place, and the Mars is also similarly engaged to pour out its mammal energy, to get it out, to release it in ways that are also constructive, right? What happens with, so that's the best ideal situation if the sun is not combusting the Mars. If you're more than 10 degrees or 12 degrees apart from the sun and Mars, but they're both in Scorpio, then the sun's energy is enriched because Mars is in its own sign. It's in Scorpio. It's the second best place for Mars. It's got a grip on its energy field. It is assertive. It is psychologically researching. It can research and understand and empathize and psychically intuit the nature of other people. And the sun wants to do that and can make deals knowing the psychology of other people at a feeling level, which is very important for the sun in Scorpio because that's the kind of analysis it needs to know a person's mettle. Can I lean on this person to get through a tough situation in an emergency situation? So can I lean on them and give them this job and this directive, and will they respect my intelligence, my direction, my forethought? Will they give me even a bit of relay? Will they give me data, or will they flake? Are they a yes man, or will they flake? Mars and Scorpio is good at finding out all these things, especially when it's not combust. There's no agitation there, so it can slowly, calmly have the presence of Mars to watch you, to listen to you, to see what you can do for me, and to build confidently towards that. And it will have confidence constantly throughout life. It'll have sexual experiences where this person, having Sun and Mars associated in the same sign but not combust, they will have an experience throughout life that their will, their attraction power is deliciously magnetically attractive, with its not being too much. This is a person who is precise in everything, in their communication. They're surgical about giving commands, giving directives. The sun is still not in its best place here. It's doing good in Scorpio because Mars is a friend to the sun. It's much better than Libra. It's a whole world better than Libra. But it's still close to Libra, which is its debilitation point. So it's still not the ideal place for the sun, but Mars, being in Scorpio, deeply grounds what the sun's trying to do here, as long as it's not combust. So consider that. Think about all the goodness of what I just said if your Mars isn't combust, and take it well, you lucky bugger, because it's a great place for Mars. If you're like me and your Mars is in that orb of combustion, all it means is that a lot of these things will still be true. You'll still have a desire. You'll still be ennobled. Mars will still delight the sun. The sun will have an active ambition to build on its energy, to organize itself well, to have discipline. The only problem is that the sun is overbearing on Mars. And this sucks because the sun is in the sign of Scorpio. So the sun is leaning on Mars's strength and stability and reliability to do what the sun wants. Here the sun can get lost in emotionality. It can be too assertive and too focused in on one thing. It'll bite off more than it can chew. This has happened to me in my life where I put a lot of energy into something that didn't end up giving me the psychological strength that it could have. I've been in bands where I gave myself to these bands. I wanted to show them that I'm tough and that I can validate my experience for them. I had a deep inspiration to use my own Mars and step on my own Mars in order to glorify my ambition to everybody. Look how useful I am in this band. So I used to try and push that in my bandmates' faces. Meanwhile, they're actually trying to use their Mars to be useful to the band. I'm just using Mars to glorify my sun. And to show you guys how good I can be, and I even invest more time and effort and money into a band because I don't feel like I'm validated enough. I don't feel strong in my energy body. I feel like I'm just like the sun burns the Mars here. So that it wants to be organized, but it puts so much energy into organizing itself and disciplining itself that it wrangles its nerves. It wastes vital energy thinking about how it's going to get its energy field in order. It's especially younger in life. You know, I'm like 28 now and I've gotten really a hold on this energy, but it's still there. I have to deal with it when Mars periods happen. Mars transits to this natal position in my chart are agitating to no end, and I lose my ability because my sun is so ambitious to do so many things and go places that my Mars loses its ability to have a disciplined sense of diet, of exercise regime, of emotional purging, of emotionally connecting with people and relationships, because my relationships are the very thing which are supposed to ground my Mars and Scorpio energy. Mars and Scorpio uses others. Scorpio. It's past Libra now, right? Mars, it needs to lean on others outside of itself and to know that there's channels outside of itself which are securing this upwelling of waterfall of emotional energy, which is useful. This emotional energy is usually useful to Mars and Scorpio. And if your sun is not combusting Mars, then it's not going to burn out its relationships with people. It's going to take from them, but it's also going to give to them in a balance which is logical and psychologically fitted to the nature of those people. That's what's so good about Mars and Scorpio, is that it intuits how much people can take. They can use people just to the point where they're getting too much out of them. And then this Mars and Scorpio draws back and says thank you, and then even helps them and supports them. What happens when that's when Mars is not combust. But when Mars is combust, the sun is just thinking of the glory of this moment of like, look, I'm sorry to lean on you this in such a hard way, but I really need you to do this thing for me. And then that person says, well, I just did this thing for you last week, and now you are asking me to do another thing. You know, how about this? Before I do this next thing for you, I need you to help me and come help me move. You know, you need me. So a person says to you, okay, you need me on Thursday, right? Well, I need you on Wednesday to help me move. The Scorpio with the combust Mars says, ugh, look, man, like, I get it, but like, I've got something on Wednesday that is like my own personal ambition. I'm going to talk to this guy about this fishing boat that I need to wrangle him to get, so I absolutely cannot do it on Wednesday. Can you still help me on Thursday? Click. The person says, you know what? This Scorpio person doesn't have the sun burns out your conception of how you have this relationship with the pushing of people that you use to secure your energy. You know, even with the gym, this is someone who like wants to discipline themselves to go to the gym 3 times a week, but when they go there, they don't drink enough water. They're just focused on getting this thing out, and they burn themselves out, so that the next time, you know, they want to go to the gym, their muscles and their bones are hurting because they worked it out so much. So that's when the sun is combust the Mars. But when it's not, it all works very well. It's a delicious energy. And in either case, this person is always going to have a sexy, suave, charismatic control of its sexuality. It's just that this would be perfect, again, if the Mars isn't combust. Their sexual dynamic. This is going to take a longer video, I know, because this is such a duality. If your Mars is not combust, then you have sexual magnetism and charisma and attraction and a sleuthing beauty and also athleticism and rigid muscular control that can get a rich sexual experience. The persona is there and the energy field is there to come through with the promise of what this mysterious facade is promising. Now, with Mars combust, all of that intrigue is there, all of the magnetism is there, and the promise that I can fuck you for hours, passionately, emotionally, sentimentally, and to be tough, and to come in turns of being your hard man or woman. Even, you know, even a woman can be this hard, gripping, you know, like maneuvering person who's maneuvering these cool, delicious, sensual episodes and all these things. The mentality will be there, but if the Mars is combust, the energy might not come through with the promise, but the sentiment, the endearment, the emotion, the passion will all be there. It'll just be hard for them to be constantly on each turn of being switching between dominating and sub. Or, you know, if you're a sub person, you know, like as a woman or a man or anything in between, you know, like it'll be hard for you to stay in the consciousness of your role, which you so deeply want to enrich with the other person, because it's tiring to stay on one form. It's tiring to just use your mind logically for too long, because the mind is so agitated by the sun's vitalizing desire to just get to the orgasm. In fact, you might even be a person, like I've had troubles with like ejaculating too quickly because the sun energy excites the Mars, which is supposed to be holding. Mars at its best in Scorpio, even in this combination, if it's not combust, is surgically aware of how much to put in here, and then just, oh, I don't want to come yet, so let me just drop this back, squeeze these a little bit, squeeze this butt, push you, engage my chest, and move you around, throw you around, and then, oh, here comes this thing again, and it's just this delicious thing, building you right up to the edge. Oh, not yet. I've still got more pushing around to do. That's Mars at its best, is surgically, as an operative, a plan of how to take your energy and wrangle it to my desire. All of this is present in Sun and Mars, even when Mars is combust, except that there might be much quicker where the excitement builds up, where you start to lose your ability to be either the pushy one or the receptive one, and that's when you just become sort of like this, like waiting for what's going on, and just your body just erupts with passion quicker than you would like it to. That could be a thing with your energy in this situation. If it is, I highly recommend you check out Tantra, things that can enrich the sexual experience outside of just your pure muscular energy and your pushiness and these sorts of things, you know, engaging in role play, doing things where you might have to just basically put in a lot of extra effort to listen to your lover, learn your lover, slowly learn how to pleasure them in a way that you just might have to spend a lot of extra time with your muscular engagement, with your reaction, with your ejaculation, with your excitement, so that you can enrich their experience as well as your own, and not just let the sun ruin your muscular control of what could be a delicious, rapturous sexual experience. It's a slow thing. You got to build up on it. I'm still working on it myself. But at least we still have the charisma and suave to get the mental magnetic fascination out of a lover, which is what always happens with me with my lovers. No matter what, they always love the rich magnetism and the aura and the charisma that I have, the sexuality, the domination plays, and all these intrigues. And eventually they find out that I do have physical, mental limits that they learn also with me how to bring it out in its richest. For me, I'm ruled by Venus, and my moon is important to me, and I use these depths to hopefully connect with the person so that they can trust me, provide me the space to not have to perform, and to help me to slowly unfold the best of what's my own physical nature. Everybody has a physical nature, and if your partner loves you enough, they will enrich you and bring it out to the best of both of your mutual needs and abilities. Because everybody's energy field can be used constructively. You just got to learn how to use it, A, and B, be with someone who can cater to this dimension of your sexuality. But if you're not like me and your Mars is not combust and you got this combination, have fun with it for the rest of us, because I could tell that it would be a good damn time. Now, usually I do a reading. I could do a reading of Scorpio's nature on its own. And I think I'm going to. What the heck? This might turn into a longer video because of that. But I've given you a whole spiel. Let's talk about the pure nature of Scorpio Sun, Scorpio and Mars, not thinking about the combustion or anything like that. What is the nature of the sexuality of Sun in Scorpio? We're going to talk about first the Sun in Scorpio through Erotic Astrology by Phyllis Vega. And then at the end of this, we're going to include what it is that Mars in Scorpio brings to this reading. So this is turn-ons and turn-offs purely for Scorpio Sun. The red-hot sex drive and physical prowess of Scorpio is legendary. You possess a lusty libido and thoroughly enjoy giving and receiving sensual pleasure. Any lover stepping into your lair had better be well prepared, because keeping up with you between the sheets is an absolute must. I should say that no matter what, whether you're combust or whatever, you can have moments of the staying power that's known in Scorpio, and you can probably even like ejaculate like more than once or twice in a lovemaking session. It's just going to come in waves. You won't always have that staying power, but you will be able to bring those moments with your lover if the two of you are willing to experiment in order to how. It's just one of those things where it won't always be there. You might not be able to control it, but those moments will be there, and you will be able to satisfy your lover in the ways that you want to sometimes. Maybe you can figure out how to do it constantly, reliably. Let me know if you do. Now, again, for all Scorpio suns, that what I just said was, again, just relating to Sun in Scorpio with Mars combust. Now let's just, again, talk about Sun in Scorpio. I'm going to stop doing that. Sun in Scorpio. You require turn-ons and turn-offs. You, Scorpio, require a lot of drama and emotional excitement in your love life. I mean, drama is kind of, it can be there, but this is more of a light thing. I relate to this, but it's sort of like a pushing, sort of like, what do you want to do today, huh? Well, I was thinking about doing this. What do you think about that? It's too bad. What are you going to do about it? Just, just sort of being tomboyish, playful. An intimate relationship that is too peaceful can bore you, and I do get that. The Scorpion's fascination with sex inspires numerous exotic fantasies of sultry seduction. Acting out these sexy scenarios with your bedmate is a guaranteed turn-on. The Mars in Scorpio has a fixed mental capacity to concentrate artfully on anything. It can really bring character and richness to any role-playing. Especially when it comes to being the assertive one or the submissive one. They love getting, us Scorpios love getting, me personally, I love both sides of it. Since Scorpio's fantasies are often darkly erotic, a bit of mystery or a hint of danger whets your appetite and gets your motor humming. Something of an extremist by nature, you tend to equate lovemaking with power and control. It's deeply just the psyche of Scorpio Sun. Loves to just have this sort of play. I'm attracting you. Don't you want to come to me? And Scorpio will put on like a business suit and, unzip his pants and never even take them off. Just hope that the lady just does the business, sucks me dry. I zip back up and spank that sweet little ass and say, thanks, bitch. See you next time. That's like a role-playing scene that you guys could play out kind of thing. And that's this power and control kind of put to an extreme scene. With your lover in the role of obliging love slave, you, Scorpio, revel in the ecstatic gratification of all your secret wishes and desires. And if your partner just happens to bring along sex toys and gadgets, so much the better. This is like deeply something that fascinates Scorpio consciousness. Not the toys, but this feeling of you being my love slave. You obliging my fiery, hot, lusty libido. This can be an engagement that can be so deeply satisfying for both people. If the partner is willing to play the sub, and especially, I recommend you as a Scorpio hopefully will consider this person important enough to you that you won't be derogatory to them in moments that are not appropriate. If you really care for them and are compassionate for them, then you won't do this. It has to do with your moon and your Venus. If you have a good moon, good Venus, then you won't have to worry about this. Just be careful for too much vindictiveness in your personality, because that could really bum out whoever it is that you're with. It's just like anything with BDSM. It's cute as long as it's all consensual, right? Scorpio responds to an uninhibited bed partner who entices with provocative verbal suggestions and teasing sexual games. Scorpio is like that, but also hopes that the partner can be enticing, provocative, verbal, to also do the come hither. So there's two people who are suave and kind of this come hither mentality coming together and just being like, damn, aren't we hot? Your sensuous nature makes any kind of massage an erotic experience for you. Can confirm. It can serve as a rousing foreplay for steamy lovemaking, taking you to the very edge of intense sensual pleasure, especially because Mars in Scorpio and Sun in Scorpio are so muscularly driven. Scorpio being ruled by Mars, being ruled by the neuromuscular connections in our body. They can push their muscles and bodies so much that for someone to like, our muscles are so sensitive. And to touch, just to caress under the bum cheek or around that area, or just to move everywhere but our genital area, and then to slowly move into that area, even like for a woman, to go all around the pussy, and then to slowly move your way, move that finger right to that delicious spot. It's enough to be like, oh my god, okay, we gotta fuck now. It's enough to be like that, right? A loving aromatic massage may also kindle your physical desire so strongly that you feel as though you can't delay sexual gratification any longer. It's just like, oh, it's time to go. Since Scorpio is the most sexually charged of all zodiac signs, your nether regions are extremely sensitive. You know how every sign has like an associated thing? Cancer is like the heart and solar plexus. Leo is kind of like the chest. Virgo is like the belly, the digestive system. Libra is the kidneys, and then Scorpio is the genitals and the genital area. That's their erogenous zone. So just touching the genitals can light a Scorpio up. It lights anybody up. It just happens to be that the Mars and the Sun are in the area where everybody would normally be lit up, but them is like in particular. Us, them, Scorpio. So any stimulation down below, even the slightest bit, little teases, it just gets us right there. Gets Scorpio right in that zone. Consequently, many a Scorpio bedroom massage has to be abandoned halfway through. Just can't stop this thing from coming through. It's delicious. Everybody loves banging Scorpio. They can be so fun and playful. I've been with a Scorpio chick, and they can just be, and I think a Scorpio guy. I'm bisexual. Have I been with a Scorpio guy? In any case, everyone loves Scorpio. They're so playful, but they can be so serious in turns when you want them to be, and they'll be real about whatever interplay they decide to put on, whether it's sub or dom. It's always a delicious time. So the Mars in Scorpio is going to exacerbate all these positive qualities. All these qualities of the Sun in Scorpio are going to be brought, like the mental erotic, the cerebral, the power plays. What you bring to this with having Mars in Scorpio is muscle. Real pushy muscularity that can just like really deliver some fun moving around, especially with a lover who can take that kind of thing, who loves an athletic, like a real good physical rogering. All the angles, moving in different angles, throwing the person around. This is the kind of stuff that adds muscle to the power play dynamic that the Scorpio Sun loves, even for subs, to put them muscularly in all different angles and places so they can even push into whoever's fucking them. All of this is just like using their body at a physical level as part of the satisfaction. It's like going to the gym. Sex with this person, Sun in Scorpio with Mars in Scorpio, might very well feel like a thigh workout or some kind of real physical thing. So now that we've just read a lot about Scorpio Sun, we're going to read about what, I don't know if I just said this, it's been a long day. We're going to read about what Mars in Scorpio adds to Sun in Scorpio. This is a combined reading of both from the same author. This is Sun in Scorpio with Mars in Scorpio. Since Scorpio is the sexiest sign in the zodiac, it should come as no surprise that sex is the natural milieu of double Scorpios. With your animal magnetism and smoldering bedroom eyes, you're likely to attract plenty of admirers. An agile, nimble, muscular, accomplished lover, you possess a psychic-like intuition that allows you to tap into and satisfy your bedmate's deepest desires. However, you're interested in more than just physical lovemaking. It's the Mars and Sun coming through both in Scorpio. It's the nature of Scorpio, the nature of Mars. All of this physical and posturing and pushing and challenging and resistance and playing begins to sublimate beyond just the physical into the emotional. Everything we do physically becomes also how we interact emotionally. It also is how we challenge each other mentally, and we even delve into spiritual dimensions of each other. And this is what this person wants at the deepest level, is to be engaged with someone so that every interaction feels like the dawn of the spirit's own. It's like the universe is permeating with the person who's in front of you, who is a vessel for your evolutionary instincts. It's a soulmate who you've met before, who just instinctively brings out the best of the phoenix in you, which wants to dive through the ramparts of the crappy parts of yourself by holding on intense moments, intense physical moments, intense emotional moments, intense moments of all these sorts. Scorpio wants to go through the smoldering fire and brimstone with somebody who would be willing to do that with them, for them. You're interested in more than just physical lovemaking. You regard sex and fusion of all levels with anybody as a transcendent experience that allows you to merge with your partner on all levels: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. This is what Scorpio generally likes to involve themselves with, but it's the Mars is actually going to get vitalized by having these kinds of intense confrontations, sexual of any sort, with someone that's meaningful to them, especially if that person is building a relationship with them further down the line that's going to help keep on affirming and helping and registering the discernment of the mind of the sun, the discernment of the animal impulses, and the constructive buildup of the intelligence of how I can express my spirit in the world with everybody. If you can keep promising that you're going to keep helping build me up in this way, then I'm going to want to latch to you even further, even deeper, especially ideally when it's healthy and mutual and mutually consensual and all these things. Scorpio can become really deeply, obsessively, compulsively attached to someone whose energy field is perfect for everything I'm looking for, especially if you don't have a good moon or a good Venus. If you have an ill-placed moon in Venus, then you might be looking at how functional they are for your spirit and your psychology, and not actually reading into how the two of you can work constructively as a practical relationship between two humans who use each other but also are compassionate to each other. You'll get the best out of any love experience you have by employing Venus and employing the moon, particularly because your sun and Mars, your masculine energies here, are in feminine signs. So even if you're a very ambitious person and you don't consider the compassion, the true connection, just consider functionally, logically, how that can make your energy, your ambition of the sun to come through the best that it possibly can. I digress. This has been a long video, so hope you guys dug that. I hope it was sexy. I hope it was fun. I'm Dustin Cormier for How to Rock Astrology. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff, to let me know what you thought about this video. I'm always building on these more. This is a long one because this is my sign, but also it's a conjunction, so let me know what you think. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for stopping by. See you on the next one.